everybody, this is Katie from JustPlainSomething.com, and this is the very first Driving Home the Movie, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Well, the first thing I can say is that a lot of the things that I heard about this movie earlier on in the week were kind of wrong, at least in my opinion. It's actually a really good adaptation, and you have to remember that not all of the Harry Potter adaptations are good. There have been many that have messed up the plot a lot. So going into this, I was a little nervous because I had heard, not reviews, but I just heard little snippets of they changed a lot of stuff. This isn't a very devoted adaptation. But for the most part, it was really good. I actually started reading, earlier in the week, rereading the book, from the point where Dobby dies on to the end. I only got to about the Battle of Hogwarts, but a lot of the book is still fresh in my mind. And they used a lot of the actual dialogue from the books, word for word. The things that they added as far as dialogue is actually not that bad. There are a few things here and there that kind of bothered me, and I'll probably get to those in my review, but it's not a bad adaptation. I will say there were a couple things, again, not giving away too much, but the Dumbledore story, his backstory, which is a huge part of the book, is kind of glazed over, but it was glazed over in the first part too, so I was kind of expecting it. I thought it would be really hard for them to go into as much detail as they did in the book for that part. I was hoping for a little more, to be honest, and I thought maybe that they could at least give it a little more exposition, but it wasn't going to be the same thing. It just wasn't, because in the books it's very much about Harry struggling with his image of Dumbledore, and you don't get that in the first part of the movie, so I wasn't expecting that. So I was okay with not seeing it, even though it did kind of bug me. There are other things that went really fast. They got to the Battle of Hogwarts a lot faster than I thought they would. I knew that they were going to be going into the Battle of Hogwarts pretty early, and it was going to take up most of the movie, but I was expecting a little bit more before that. And so when they got to Hogsmeade, I was thinking, oh, okay, this happened faster than I thought it was going to. Okay. Besides that, there were some really good parts. There's some parts that were fantastic that I don't think you could get any closer to what I had in my own head. I'll tell you right now, The Prince's Tale, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. They nailed it right on the head. And considering how badly they've handled the memories and the exposition of the memories, especially in the sixth one, this was a really good job. They did great. Alan Rickman was unbelievably good in this. He's in so little of the books, and in the same time, there's not much more of him that you see in this movie, but the parts that you see in him with him in it are fantastic. They maybe rushed the Prince's Tale a little bit, but they put more into it than I expected, honestly. After the sixth movie, I was really expecting them to brush over, like they brushed over the memories from Voldemort. Speaking of Voldemort, he's a really good... Ralph Fiennes is a fantastic Voldemort. Not, like I said, not exactly how I pictured each line to be delivered, but you can't expect that. I didn't expect them to cater to my every whim as much as that would have been fantastic. It would have been, but, he really put the spin on it. You really like him in an evil way. Like, he's a villain where you do laugh when he makes, not jokes, but, snide remarks to people. You kind of enjoy when he's being sinister because he's just that kind of villain. There were some really good parts. Helena Bonham Carter was fantastic as Hermione playing Bellatrix. Better than I thought she'd be, actually. She really does get... It's really hard, I would expect, to play a character playing a character, and especially when they're playing the character that she actually plays, if that makes sense. And she really does a fantastic job, and it's fun to see her do something where she's not evil, where she has a little hesitation. Besides that, the Ron and Hermione kiss, better than the Ginny and Harry kiss from the 6th movie, definitely. It was changed, but it still had the same passion behind it. It had a lot of, just a lot of feeling, and people cheered. So, and considering how much we've been rooting for these characters for so long, it was so much fun to see them do that. Oh God, what else? Luna's bit that I mentioned on my website was great. It was, it was really a fun scene, but again, I saw that coming. McGonagall was awesome. You love her in the books, and she's great, and it was one of those things where I had no idea how much she was going to be in the Battle of Hogwarts, how much they were going to put into it, and she did a really, really good job. Maggie Smith, I've always loved her as an actress, but she hit a new level for me tonight, and she really just hit the nail on the head. Everything that we love about McGonagall, and again, this is what I love about the Harry Potter series, is how many really strong female characters there are. Ginny's okay. I mean, she doesn't have a lot of lines, but she's probably the closest that I've seen of the book Ginny. And then, the Bellatrix, Mrs. Weasley scene was great. A little short, but it was there. And that was one of those scenes where I said, this better be in the, in the movie. I would have been so mad. There's a lot of really good stuff. Besides that, again, I'm not going to give away spoilers. I'm really trying to keep it, but they don't glaze over too much. I was kind of mad to see that Lee Jordan was in the movie, because I kind of mentioned in one of my Click Clack reviews that I thought he was going to be, and he wasn't. So that was kind of depressing. But I did look it up earlier this week, and unfortunately I didn't see his name on IMDb. But how great would it have been if Magnitude had been a part of the Battle of Hogwarts? Come on. Besides that, yeah, Neville is fantastic. Not exactly how he is in the book, but he's still really strong. And come on, like I said, I was really worried going into this that they would take a lot of things out. I'm so glad they didn't take out Neville's part. It was, like I said, it wasn't exactly how I pictured it, but considering, it was still great. I mean, there's still some really good parts. The actual battle after Voldemort walks into Hogwarts is okay. It's probably the weakest part for me. And again, I'm going to be a stickler. I'm a fangirl. I love the books. This is my favorite book, and they kind of messed with it a lot. That not even second half, but that last bit of the battle. So I can handle it. I'm okay with it. It was still really strong, but it wasn't the same. And I did like it better in the book. So besides that, I really, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's not too spoilery. Flitwick was actually kind of cool. Again, you don't see a lot of him, but kudos to the actor who, in my sugar soda haze, I can't remember off the top of my head who the actor is, but he played both Flitwick and Griphook, and he did a really, really good job with both characters. I mean, again, if playing two different characters in one movie is pretty impressive, and he really got Griphook especially, because he's just such a nasty guy. But yeah, really good. Again, I'm not going to give away too much. So,
why don't you describe a bit about the movie as a whole?
Movie as a whole, one of the things is the pacing's off, but that's because it's a two-parter. It was the same thing with the first one. So I think if you watch them back to back, the pacing will be a lot better. But, if you're looking at the movie as one, that's just going to have to be how it is. The pacing's off. But I really thought it was a fitting end. I wanted every scene I absorbed. It might be one of the first times in a Harry Potter movie where I wanted to just lap in all of the details, everything going on. And they are actually more faithful to the books than you would expect. Not entirely, and there are a few bits that I kind of get mad about, and it was my same criticism of part 1, where there's just stuff that they don't ever show us, like Harry in the mirror, that kind of keeps going. They never explain how Harry was given it or anything like that, and that kind of bothered me. But besides that, it wasn't too bad. It really wasn't. And I'm looking at this like this is still one of the better adapted book to film series, especially when you consider how many there are. And it can't always be, as much as we would like it, it's not going to be perfect. And that's okay. It's okay that it's not perfect. But it was a fitting end. I loved the epilogue. Absolutely loved it. I loved the King Cross Station. There were a lot that they really nailed on the head. So I can forgive the filmmakers for messing with some of the other parts.
Like you said, the things they hit on the head, the things they got right, you're saying a lot of the things that they basically grabbed directly from the book.
Yes. Thank you, Mike. And yes, the things they got right, they got directly from the book. And yeah, there are a couple tedious things, and maybe if I feel like mentioning them in the review and that they're not too spoilery. That's the thing. If you haven't read the books, some of the stuff I'm telling you right now kind of spoilery. But then again, I have a feeling that the people who usually read my Potter Watch and are readers on the site are fans of the movies and books. And some of the stuff, if you haven't been told already, I mean, it's like if I did a video for the 6th movie and told you that Snape killed Dumbledore. I don't think anybody at this point would get pissed off at me for that. But, yeah, really, really strong finish. Like I said, not perfect, but that's okay. It's okay that it's not perfect. And I, as a fangirl, as someone who started reading this a few days before New Year's Eve in 1999, I think, yes, I'm very happy with how it ended. And I think that they did it. I think they did Rowling justice. Normally I would go until with these videos until I hit my driveway, but we went to a theater a little while away, and I don't want to ramble too much because I got a lot to say in my review too. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully this will be the first of many more to come. Do you have any closing thoughts, Mike?
I would say that it's good. It's a strong adaptation. It's, like Katie said, things they changed, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it yet. It's sort of iffy to me. I might have to see it again before I really get a good feel for it, but right now it's sort of, like, looking at it, it was a movie that kept my attention the entire time, and I was watching it, and everything they hit right, exactly right. And there's just some moments where you're like, this isn't from the book, and then it's a little depressing, but it's good.
All right.
And they did their best, and they made a strong movie.